Everybody, Jay and Manion here at the MPC Photo Gym, and it's April Fool's Day 2024, and I have this fool next to me that I've been trying to get to this gym for how long?
What, 3-4 years now?
Yes.
You're thinking 3-4 years, yeah.
All right, fool, introduce yourself.
My name is Matt Greggo, lead of the full leader. Classic Physique Olympian. I won Tampa Pro last year. We are on the road to Pittsburgh Pro and New York Pro, two of the biggest shows in the IFBB Pro League.
Okay, so Matt is originally from PA, but he's no longer living in PA.
No.
Tell us where you are and what you're doing.
I live in Tampa Pro, and I get to Tampa Pro. Geez, now you got me stuck in Tampa Pro. I'm a fool. No, I live in Tampa, Florida, and I train at my 48. I'm privileged to train with Derek Lunsford, Mr. Olympia. So I relocated over there to really progress my bodybuilding career, and it's been a blessing to say the least.
Yeah. So how he's here is because Derek texted me, asked me if I know him. It basically says I've told him he needs to get to the gym, and I go, I've told him that for years too. Right?
You've told me so I think with 2020 since I went pro.
Yeah.
You know, ironic I thought about on the way here is you saw me go pro and you saw me get my Olympia qualification. I think that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And saw you in the Olympia.
And the Olympia too. So you've seen the whole thing.
Yes.
Which is wild to me.
So now you're finally here. How's it feel?
It's a privilege to be in history because you just walk in here and you see all the special memorabilia, like the Olympia posters, the equipment known from the 90s. Let me tell you, there's a hammer strength piece of equipment. I think it's the the pull down one. Mm-hmm. It's from the 90s, and it looks better than new equipment you get right now when you go to gym. So just so much history, and it's just a privilege to finally be here and to experience it.
Yeah, so Matt asked if we had any of the machines reupholstered. I said, no. He goes, this is 90s upholstery. I said, yes, it is.
Fooled me. I thought it was, I was like, this is not for the 90s. There's no way.
Yeah.
It looked great. I was surprised. I was truly surprised.
All right. So why did you move to Tampa? Did you have an offer or what was the idea that, I know, to get out of the cold besides that, but.
Getting out of the cold is one. So my classic run last year, I started New York Pro, went to Atlanta, Chicago, and then last show of the year for me to get to Olympia was Tampa Pro in my mind. And for some reason, I had a feeling like God was telling me that Tampa was a place for me to go to just kind of be in a better scene for bodybuilding, to progress my career in bodybuilding. And I told myself going into that show, if I win Tampa Pro, and it's a little crazy to say, I'm going to move to Tampa. So I won Tampa Pro, and we won on Saturday, I believe it was. We were looking at apartments on Sunday. So we didn't waste any time. And I just felt like God was pushing me in a direction to move there for some reason. It just felt like he was pushing me there.
How'd you hook up with Derek?
Honestly, I met him at MI40 when we were training. When I was like a week out from Tampa Pro, I went down there a little bit early, and we just became closer and closer. And then about a month and a half ago, we just started training together more and more. And now we're training partners. We train every single day. We hang out pretty much every single day. And you know, it's a blessing to be around a champion like himself, to see how a champion carries himself, not just on the stage or off the stage too. Because I think he's probably the perfect representative of the sport in my eyes. You know, he's a family man. He's a man of God, and obviously he's my close friend, so I like to mess around, but I look up to him. I really do.
You know,
I look down at Derek. If you're watching this, you're really short. You're like 5'6", so I look down at you, but I look up to you in certain things.
Sorry, Derek, I couldn't help it. That was like a softball throw to me.
When I see Derek, I'm like, what's up, buddy?
I hope you enjoyed that last training session with him.
I'm gonna get a message. We're done. We're training. Oh man.
All right. So Matt, tell everybody when and where you turned pro. I want them to know your journey.
So I went pro at MPC Universe in 2020. Was in Charleston. But the thing is, I went pro in men's physique. But obviously I'm now in classic physique. So I think that's a good example that what's the beautiful thing about the MPC and the IFBB Pro League is that there is so many options, you know, to compete. You could be a men's physique competitor, grow into classic, even grow in the open. So for example, for me, men's physique was something my first love, but then I started to gravitate more to that classic look. And I feel like that's my true home now. So.
And Tampa proved it.
I think Tampa proved it, solidified it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it did a little bit.
So how did you get into weight training? Did you play sports when you were younger? Or?
I did. I was a basketball player. We talked about that. And, you know, you don't really do too much weight training for being a basketball player. But I just kind of fell in love with going to the gym because I had a buddy who was in it. We were all we were, you know, just fresh in high school.
So technically you looked up to those basketball players, right?
Well, I'm 5'10" and a half, so I was like, I was looking up, looking really up. But I started going to gym with my buddies, and I feel like in bodybuilding you can kind of tell when you have what it takes to do some, to be decent at it. And I feel like my body responded really like fast to weight training. So I was like, all right, maybe I should give this all a shot one day. So I took my time doing my first show, which I'm grateful because I won my first show. But I could tell when I started lifting weights, I had potential to do something in it.
And do you have any brothers or sisters?
I have a brother. I do.
Was he into training or anything?
He was actually bigger than me at one point, but he was in a motorcycle accident. So he lost function in his arm. So he had to like step away from it. But the genetics are definitely there. I can tell you that, because one thing we had is calves. We were pretty small at one point. We always had these big calves for some reason. And I have people saying, oh, you should get into lifting because you got these big calves and nobody has calves. I'm like, what are you talking about?
So calves do matter.
Calves matter. The calves matter. The calves matter. They matter a lot. Yeah. But yeah.
So as the Tampa Pro was progressing and you were in those first call outs and they're moving you and you're basically in the middle, what was going through your head?
There was a lot. I mean, I finished in the top 2 comparison with Carlos, great competitor. And we battled each other at Atlanta Pro that same year and he beat me. So I was like, you know what, this is going to be a tough battle. But I think that show I had it. I really did. I felt in my heart that one thing I told myself, I kind of but I give like for younger competitors to kind of go with is that I knew that whatever happened at that show day, whether it was a win or a second place, it was God pushing me in the direction I need to. If I got second, it was God using me for some reason to spread a message. If I got first, it was God using me some reason to be the champion. So I was at peace no matter what. But after I got done with prejudging, I really felt like I won that show. And then when I heard my name, obviously it was like, you saw, I was like just a flood of emotions because it was like such a grind that year. And at Chicago Pro, I was like, I'm done. I'm going to take the rest of the year off when I got second. And if I didn't keep pushing and do Tampa Pro, I would never made my dream happen of going to the Olympia.
I know. I was excited for you. I came back to see you.
I know. I was excited to see you. Yeah. Like I said, you seen it when I went pro, and then you got to see it when I qualified for the Olympia. It was like full circle.
I think I said it's about damn time, right?
Just like you said about me, the fool coming to Pittsburgh about damn time. Oh, it's funny, man.
So your Olympia experience, how was that?
It was a blessing. It was surreal to like check in with all the people you look up to, and just be in that atmosphere where greatness has been on those stages. All the past Olympia champions, and it was a surreal experience. And from someone like me, I didn't really know that would ever really get there when I first started. I mean, you never know where the road could take you. But when you finally got there and you're in the check-ins and you do the meet Olympians and you're prejudging, it's such a gratifying, such a rewarding experience. I mean, it's surreal when you're actually, and for me, it was like, I didn't really, when I was in like the whole process of Olympia, like the prejudging and everything, it hit me a little bit when I had like a week removed from it. I was like, damn, like I made it to Olympia my first year in classic. It was like, this is so surreal. Yeah. It was insane to think about because I feel like it's very easy to not live like in the present when you're going through like big things like that. But when I was a week removed, I'm like, damn, I made it to Olympia. Like, this is insane.
Have you ever looked back at the history of who won the Pittsburgh Pro in Classic?
Yeah. Mr. Bumstead. I know the history. And we're obviously trying to make history.
Yeah. And from there, to me, I say that helped kickstart his career because he went on and took second to Brion that year. And then look what happened.
He did. So that's one thing that when I went to this year, obviously shout out to Derek because he helped me kind of strategize this year, is I knew that Pittsburgh Pro, one of the biggest shows of the year by far. New York Pro, one of the biggest shows here by far, that if I come in here and I win both, I'm solidifying myself as one of those top guys. And that's why
you're in the discussion to take on C-Bomb.
That's what I fully intend to do. So that's why I picked these shows because they are the biggest.
And this year, it just so happened that the Pittsburgh Marathon is the first weekend. There's usually 2 weeks between Pittsburgh and New York. So my father moves the show back a weekend. So now it's really, the New York and Pittsburgh are a week apart. And you also have Steve's going to be one of the head judges here in Pittsburgh. So it's
perfect. That's why it seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Do Pittsburgh, do New York, do the biggest shows, and give it all you got.
I mean, if you win Pittsburgh and New York, and you've won Tampa. You've basically what we insiders say are 3 of the top 5 biggest shows that there are to do. This is besides the Arnold and the Olympia.
Right. I have full intention of it.
Yeah.
That's the plan for this year. Cement history, you know? Yes, absolutely.
All right. And I like his confidence, by the way.
I don't know if you remember, but the first time we met, do you remember the live stream? I think JM put the camera on me. I'm like, hey, Matt, name's Matt Greggo. I'm going to go pro this weekend. Good times. Oh, God.
Well, you called your shot.
I tried to.
You did, though.
I did.
There's no trying. You did.
The thing is when you truly put in the work and you have the right people in your corner and your focus is on following in the footsteps that God has planned for you, I believe that great things come your way. And this year feels very similar to when I went pro in that it just feels like everything is happening in the right direction for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, good. So I'm excited for Pittsburgh Pro. I'm excited to start. This is our very first road to Pittsburgh Pro. So it's officially kicked off on April Fool's Day.
With the fool, leader of the fools.
You heard him.
Head fool.
All right. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to while you're here?
Well, a ton of people. You for having me for sure. Everyone in the NPC IFBB Pro League. My coach Chris Aceto. Obviously my woman, my Goose. All the people who support me online.
Is that her name, Goose? Are you Maverick and she's Goose? What is this?
Technically, it's Moose and Goose, but her real name's Jess. But we'll keep it as Goose. My supporters, everyone who follows me, supports me, my sponsors. I appreciate everyone, and you guys help make this machine go around. I appreciate you all.
Okay, so I'm going to say it here right now. I look forward to having you back later in the year to do your road to the Olympia.
Deal.
All right. If you want to see Matt, the Pittsburgh Pro is the May 10th and 11th, second weekend of May. Get your tickets. If you can't make it, watch the live stream. There's going to be something special happening with that too that we haven't announced yet. But get your live stream going. But come here; it's totally different because you get to see the guest posers, and that guy that you train with is guest posing too.
Yeah, Derek. Just make sure you look down. Very short, very, very short.
But very wide.
Very, very wide.
All right, so JM Manion.
Matt Greggo.
Signing out for NPCNewsOnline.com. We look forward to seeing you at the Pittsburgh Pro.